DZONGKHA and welcome to Do You Know Your Child? I'm your host, Choden. A person goes through a lot of change as soon as a child is born into his or her life. Starting from conception, the soon-to-be parent have to make many difficult and unfamiliar decisions. After birth, the decision only becomes more and more difficult and complex. As children grow older, the decision-making gets tougher over changing of schools, meals, after-school activities, friendships and holidays, and lots more. Although solutions to this daily dilemma are important, it's the parents' overall style and attitude that counts as they influence, teach, and socialize their children. In our last show, we had our participants make their commitments, and let's take a look at how well they're doing today.
We have started taking note of her homeworks and then also her exam and her grades, because I realized actually most of the parents, when you're busy, we tend to forget keeping tab of how our children are doing in school. So Gelek and I decided that we'll keep a sort of a red pink book in which I make a log entry. So this says 28th of September 2013, Gelek's paper checking at school. For example, we said maths, she got 83 out of 100. Personally, I wrote a small comment which is not very good. A little careless in reading instructions, overconfidence maybe. She's generally good. So DZONGKHA, she got 84. Science 89.5. EVS, she got 91. And English, she got 97. So this is a sort of a small booklet on which we keep on updating her on her grades, and then when I go and meet her teachers also, I take down their comments because I find them very useful in terms of identifying Gelek's area of strength and weakness. Judy Moody marched into third grade on a plain old Thursday in a plain old ordinary mood. That was before Judy got stung by the queen bee. Judy sat down at her desk in front row next to Frank Pearl. "Hey, did you see Jessica Finch?" asked Frank in a low voice. "Yeah, so I see her every day. She sits catty-cornered behind me." So we go through this routine for around 5 to 10 minutes when she was much smaller, by which time she falls asleep. But now she does all the reading by herself, so I don't have to read to her. She's very good at it.
As all parents know, parenting is complex. The interaction of many specific actions and attitudes on the part of parents come together to affect a child's development. Parenting style refers to the broad overall pattern of parental action rather than to a single act. Let's see which family we have today.
I'm Topke. I work with one of the UN agencies here in Bhutan. This is my daughter, Sunamidin. She's 9 years old. She studies at Etumito School. And her sister, she has an elder sister. Her name is Tenzin, and actually at the moment Tenzin and their mother, actually they are not here, they have gone home, and we two of us are here at home. So we're having fun, you know.
Today we have Mr. Topke with us and his daughter Sunamidin. Welcome to the show. Do you know your child?
I think I know my child fairly, I would say.
Okay, and you have how many children?
I have two daughters.
Two daughters.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Last week we had a mother with two sons, and she said it's a challenge. And I'm glad we have you today with two daughters. Is it a challenge for you?
I wouldn't say there is a difference between the boys and girls. That's
okay.
what I would feel. But I think parenting children is a challenge, but whether it's boy or a girl, because each has its own stage of development. So I think that needs are very different. So I think parenting is a challenging task. for
Overall.
parents. Yeah.
All right,
overall.
okay. Now, I know a lot of the people would say that you're saying this because you only have daughters. But I also know that you come from a very strong background in early childhood development and all that. So could you shed us a little light on why do you think it's same to bring up a girl and
Well, yeah.
a boy?
Unlike in the past, I think like circumstances has changed, situations has changed globally. I mean, everywhere in every context. So, I think today there is a big need for us actually to really interact with our children more than what we used to do in the past. Let's take our own cultural norm. Like for instance, in the past, it's more using the rod rather than the carrot, right?
Yeah.
So I think time has changed now. So my own personal sort of experience was I lost my mom when I was very young, no?
I see.
But my dad, as a single parent, brought me up in the best way possible, no? So honestly, I mean that was the biggest, sort of personal touch that I have, and I try to apply that same principle with my children, now.
So I think a great lesson
Yeah,
from this experience of yours is that single parent can bring up a good child.
Of
would
course.
you say?
I would say.
Okay.
Because I mean, based on my personal experience, I mean, I lost my mom when I was very young,
Yes.
but my dad brought me up. Actually, not just me, but four of us, in the best way possible.
see.
I mean, despite his economic, circumstances, his limited educational level, all these aspects. I mean, there wasn't anybody to actually support him during that critical period. Yet, he gave us the best parenting experience, I would say. So, I mean, learning from that, I do have this belief in myself that I would do the same for my children. Not that, children's views are not important. Interacting with young children is not very important. What adults say is right. I mean, that sort of belief, I don't believe
It
in
existed
that.
before, though.
Yeah, I mean, in a
yes,
way.
definitely, yes.
But now, I think, like, even in a simple family decision, actually, it's very critical and, I would say, important to actually engage your children. Like, for instance, with my daughters, I say, like, well, this school looks good. Would you be interested in going to this school?
Okay.
So, I mean, as a parent, I would like to share these informations with them, but I would want them to make a decision. I mean, consider their views and, opinions about choosing a school or doing something, whatever. So that sort of, I think, parenting role is very critical in actually bringing up a, child to be a good person. And it's my personal opinion. That's
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you so much for that. And you've come to this show with your elder daughter?
my younger daughter, actually.
Your younger
Yeah.
daughter. And how old is your eldest daughter?
My eldest is like 12 years old,
Okay.
and the younger one is 9 years old.
Okay, so your eldest daughter, she's stepping into teenage
Yeah.
soon. Are you nervous about that?
I would say I'm nervous about it. I was sort of like imagining, like, if I were a single parent, how would I deal with my daughter's like needs at this point of time in life? But it's good that I always try to open up things between my elder daughter and me as well.
Yes.
I'll try to, not really put certain restrictions or, barriers in talking about sexual education or this and that. I mean, talking about boyfriends.
Yes.
So I try to make it really like informal discussion between the two of us so that she can open up and speak her views, and then I can sort of like support her when she needs me. So
I see. And I think it is very much possible for you to open even if you are a single father. And this just goes out to all the viewers out there. My parents are divorced, and when I came to visit my dad was very open with me, and he helped me be okay with talking to him about boys, although I didn't have a lot of boys to talk about, but he made me comfortable. And even he would tell me how to behave with a guy up until a certain age, and then he would, as I grew up, he would be more and more and more supportive and open. But when I started off, he was a little too strict, and I think that's how parenting should be. As they grow, they will start learning on their own. So you can't, as a parent, you can't always be there 100% telling them what to do. You give a little liberty.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't really like. I agree with you that as a parent, I don't think I can make 100%. Instructions for them like do this, do that. I think that shouldn't be, because maybe perhaps what is really needed at this sort of like stage in life is, well, from my personal experience, this is how I did this. When I faced this situation, this is how I did address that problem. So maybe it's better for you to do this, that, sort of an alternative rude sort of solutions or opinions that you can share with your child. But I think at the end, sort of like leave the decision should be the child's. So providing that necessary support to make this environment more conducive, more enabling, should be, I think, the critical role of a parent. But really don't stop a child from making a decision. So got to listen to your child, I think.
Okay, all right. Got to listen to your child. That's a really great caption here. We are going to keep talking these important and very valuable talks here with you.
Sure.
But and we're doing this because you are a credible person to talk about.
Thank you.
When it comes to children, and I'm glad to have you here on the show. Now let's go on to the questions. But before that, let me explain to you the rules. I'll ask you 10 questions about your daughter, your second daughter, who's here with you today, and then later on I'll have your daughter come here, and then I'll ask the same 10 questions and tally the answers, and whatever is the score would be your score, not hers, yours. Okay, all right. So let's go into the questions then.
Wow.
Question number 1. Did you ever talk to your daughter about not talking to strangers?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
For instance, knock on the door, like, I mean, don't open the door, I mean, until you know who it is. So, yeah. Question
number 2. What color are your daughter's eyes?
Black.
Black, all right. Question number 3. Where is your village?
DZONGKHA.
No, this is the main question. Do you think your daughter would know?
I'm sure she knows.
Okay, all right. Because I'm sad to share with you this, but a lot of the children these days do not know where they're from.
I try to make it a point that every winter vacation, I take my 2 daughters to my village, experience the life there with my with my father and their auntie, my sister. So actually they enjoy. For instance, they accompany my sister to the forest to collect fireworks, litters for the cattle. They, try out milking the cow or getting some vegetables from the field. So that sort of thing. I try my best to actually make them like go home, stay there for a week or 2.
And I think that's very important to know, for your children to know where your root is.
True.
Yeah, but I'm really, really saddened to know that a lot of the children do not know where their village is from. And I think this has something to say about the parents. I feel like it is a necessity to take your child back to your village. So maybe just once in 2 or 3 years, I think it's important, Mula.
Other thing is like your grandparents, their aspirations are actually to see grandchildren. So sending them back to the village, making your children actually stay with your grandparents actually makes them happy as well.
I'm
so
proud.
Yeah. So it's like, always,
True. Question number 4. Do you eat your dinner together as a family?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Dinner is always together.
All right. Question number 5. Would your daughter know what the national animal of Bhutan is? She wouldn't. All right. Number 6. What would your child's choice be for a vacation? Here's the option. A camping trip, a visit to a big city, or a trip to her village.
I think she would want to go to a big city.
Question number 7. Name one of your child's biggest disappointments this year.
Recently, I was checking her birth date, on the solar to lunar calendar. And then it gives this auspicious, inauspicious. And then when you checked, actually tallied, I think her birth date falls on an inauspicious day.
Okay.
So she was sort of like, I'm sad about it. So I said, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes on and on. It doesn't matter. I mean, but she was upset about that, I think,
Oh, okay. Wait, was she convinced when you explained to her?
Sort of, I think, but still, it still remains there.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry she had to find that out. Question number 8. Name 2 things your daughter did in school in the last 1 month.
Besides the unit tests, I don't think there was any latest events. But I mean, last time she was actually reading a song on hand washing with soap.
Okay, so you'd say the hand washing preparation
yeah.
and the unit
Unit
test.
test,
All
yeah.
right. Question number 9. Does your daughter belong to any social networking site like Facebook, Twitter, or MySpace?
Not herself exactly, but I think she sort of like uses somebody else's account actually to surf on the net, on the Facebook.
On Facebook.
But yeah, but maybe with her mother or her sister.
But she doesn't have her personal account.
No, she cannot. She's not eligible actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Do you have a strict rule against her going on these sites?
Oh, I do make it a point, like for instance, if they do go on these social sites, I try to see what they are actually doing.
So there's always monitoring
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Monitoring is there.
All right, here's your last question. How many hours of TV can your daughter watch in a day?
I try to tell them not to watch beyond an hour, but I'm not at home all the time with her
To make
because
it,
of my
okay.
work. So I think monitoring that is good, kind of
But
difficult. Yeah.
there is
Yeah,
a
sort
1
of,
hour.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Now we'll have your daughter over so that I can ask these 10 questions to her. All right?
Sure, sure.
Okay. We've just finished talking with the dad. Now we have the daughter. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
My name is Chhoden. I am 9 years old. I study in Phuntsho school
Okay, great. What is the one thing you like the most about going to school?
to play with my friends.
Play with your friends. Do you also play with your friends at home? Do they come over and play?
Yes.
Okay, all right. But why do you like it at school?
There are more friends.
Okay, more friends, all right? You can't have the whole school in your house more. All right, so now let me tell you about what happened before you came here, okay? I asked your dad 10 questions about you. So now I'm going to ask these 10 questions to you, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Question number 1. Does your father ever talk to you about not talking to strangers?
When I come home from school, he tell me, don't open the door without asking.
Okay, all right. That's what my father told me too, and my mother. Because it's very dangerous these days, right? There's so many bad people out there, right? It's a very helpful information and keep that in mind. Question number 2. What color are your eyes?
From
Brown. All right, okay. You have really lovely eyes. Can you look at me once more? All right, there you go. I can see brown. Very pretty eyes. Question 3. Where are you from? What village?
Ingo.
Ingo. Okay, all right. Question number 4. Do you eat your dinner together as a family?
Sometimes
Sometimes. What happens during the other times?
my sister stays at her room and eats.
Okay, why?
I don't know.
Okay, all right. You're going to ask her, right? Why do you do that, all right? But sometimes, okay. Question number 5. Do you know what the national animal of Bhutan is?
Yes.
What is it?
Takin.
A takin. All right. Have you seen a takin?
Yes.
Okay, all right, good. Question number 6. If you were given a choice of vacation, okay? And this is the choice here. A camping trip, a visit to a big city, or a trip to your village, which one would you pick?
Trip to my village.
A trip to your village. Have you been there before?
Yes.
And you enjoy being there?
Yeah.
Why? Sometimes there's so many animals out there. The place smells, right? Sometimes there's not a lot of shopping places. Why do you like village?
It is a change.
It's a very good change, right? Because Thimphu is a very busy, modern place. And going back to your village is just refreshing, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Question number 7. Name one of your biggest disappointments this year. Disappointments in the sense, what were you really upset about this year? Did you find out anything or did you get any news that really didn't make you happy? What was the biggest, oh no, for you this year? Were you unhappy this year sometimes? Were you happy throughout?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So you choosing to be happy this year, right? That's very good. It's a very good thing. I wish we could do that. Sometimes we really can't. But you are young and you can do it, so that's very good. Question number 8. Name 2 things you did in school in the last 1 month. 2 new things, as in something different from your classwork, okay? Something, not the not the assembly in the morning, but something different. Did you do anything different this month?
I got the highest mark in English.
Okay, that's really good. Congratulations. What's your favorite subject?
Science.
Science, and you scored well in English, right? Do you score well in science too?
Yes.
That's very good. So that's one thing. Can you think of any other thing that you did differently or something new that you did?
No.
No, okay, all right. So you only remember one that's getting really good marks in English, right? Okay, question number 9. Do you belong to any social networking site? In other words, do you have a Facebook account?
Yes.
You do? A Twitter?
No.
You don't know what Twitter is. Okay, all right, that's all right. So you have a Facebook account.
Yes.
Who made it for you?
My dad.
Your dad made it for you. Okay, all right. And how often are you on Facebook?
5 times in a week.
What do you do on Facebook?
Chat with my sisters.
But your sister's in the same house as you, right?
No, cousin sisters.
Cousins. All right, okay. Where are they?
College. Just,
Oh, okay. So you prefer talking to them on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Do you call them?
No.
No, okay, so Facebook is easier, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Question number 10. How many hours of TV can you watch in a day?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay, who sets the rule?
No.
No one. Why do you say 30 minutes of TV then?
I don't like watching that much.
Okay, all right. But no one made the rule?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, you finished answering all the 10 questions and you've answered so very brilliantly. Thank you very much. Now we'll go take a look at the scores. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, okay. Did you ever talk to your daughter about not talking to strangers?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
What color are your daughter's eyes?
Black.
Brown.
Where is your village?
DZONGKHA.
Ingo.
Do you eat your dinner together as a family?
Dinner is always together.
Sometimes.
Would your daughter know what the national animal of Bhutan is? She wouldn't.
Takin.
What would your child's choice be for a vacation? A camping trip, a visit to a big city, or a trip to her village?
She would want to go to a big city.
To my village.
Name one of your child's biggest disappointments this year.
Her birthday, it falls on an inauspicious day.
No.
Name 2 things your daughter did in school in the last 1 month.
Unit test and song on hand washing with soap.
I got the highest mark in English.
Does your daughter belong to any social networking site like Facebook, Twitter, or MySpace?
Not herself exactly.
Yes.
How many hours of TV can your daughter watch in a day?
An hour.
30 minutes.
We now have the scores, and your dad has scored 2 out of 10. What do you think? Is it a good score? No. All right. What do you think about it? La?
Oh, I thought I know her, but looks like I don't know her. I have to interact with her more.
This is always a realization here, right?
Yeah.
Let me remind you that there are so many thousands and thousands of questions about your daughter that I did not ask you. Maybe you could have scored better in those questions that I didn't ask you. So we're not here to judge. We're playing a game. So don't you ever think your father's a bad father, huh? Okay? These are just very simple questions. Now, if I ask you these questions about your father, would you know? Do you think you would be able to answer?
No.
For you? See? So I'm glad you see this like that. But 2 out of 10 is not a really bad score at all. I definitely want to point out that someone as educated as you are in this particular field, and given your score, which is 2 out of 10, I think this just points out that you still have room for improvement. So I hope you're not taking this the wrong way, but yeah, just a reminder to all the parents out there that no parent is a perfect parent. It's just a reminder. You can only try and be a good one and improve in the field.
Absolutely, I would agree with you. I mean, not really an expert in early childcare and development, but I have some work experience in sort of like working with children.
Mm-hmm.
But despite that sort of like experience, there's still lots of room for me to actually learn.
Mm-hmm.
So as a parent, I think every day is a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
and we all can do better every day.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And how do you think your dad can score better marks?
By spending time.
By spending time. That's a very good answer. Okay, by spending time. But given your dad's profession, it is very, very difficult to make time for your family, right? But I'm sure as a father, he knows that you need his time, and I'm sure he'll try. And I'm sure he has tried before, and he'll keep trying to make time for you and your sister, all right? Now with this, we'll go to our next segment, which is the With Love segment. This is where we have both of you read your letters that we've asked you to write for each other, okay? All right, so we'll start with you,
Dear Ide, you are the best thing in my life. I'm very fortunate to have you in my life. So sorry for missing to be with you sometimes. And I think I'll try my best to be with you and be there for you and your sister from now on. And I'll always love the two of you, no matter what. Love you always.
Thank you.
Oh, that's sweet. Ide has given me her letter for you, but I'm actually going to have her read it, all right? Please go ahead and read.
Dear Appa, I love you so much. I promise I'll always be good and work hard in my life. And thank you for being the best dad, love.
Thank you.
We've come up with this segment because we have found out that written words are more expressive than the verbal words, especially in our culture again. We don't express as much verbally. But I think we're very romantic Bhutanese people. We love writing, and when we write, we're very romantic, and we express a lot, right? I'm glad you read your letter to your dad. How do you feel about this?
Good.
Good. All right. Well, with this, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much. And before you leave, there's a little gift for you from...
Wow.
Can you read it out, please?
Titan.
Titan. Okay, that's a grand name, Titan. So this is a gift from Titan for you for being an adorable, adorable guest on the show. What is it?
Wow.
A watch. Well, I hope you enjoy your new watch. I love the color.
It's lovely.
Past studies have proven that parental involvement in their children's learning is a key factor in improving children's academic attainment and achievements, as well as their overall behavior and attendance. The role of parents during a child's earliest years is the single biggest influence on their development. Come back next week, and if you have any comments or if you would like to be a part of the show, do email us at parenting@bbs.bt. Thank you and goodbye.